So make sure that it goes all the way into the recess. It's recessed into this gear. It's a little hard to press it in place, but I use the screws to kind of tighten it. So I tighten it alternatingly. I use these two and then these two to pull it all the way in. So it should be almost flushed right now. This bottom piece of this item is flushed with the gear, face of the gear. Okay, the next thing is, you see this piece right here. It's got the like an H block in it, and with the two notches on this end, and only one on that end. The other H should go there after, but I can take that for now. So make sure it's set properly. The H and the bearing should be flush. So when you look at it from the side, there's nothing protruding. Somewhat recessed on this end. So make sure that the bearing is lined up with this collar here. Slip it in place, and then you slip the gear in place with this attachment facing the H piece, like so. So the set screw should line up with the notch. And so you tighten it in place. So it'll still freely rotate like that. So let's grab the other set screw and put it in place. There you go. So the next piece that goes is this piece. It locks the gear in place. Right there. So you take the set screw again and line it up with the notch on the bar, and this should be flushed right here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to check that later, because I think that has to be flushed right there. We get the set screw and tighten it in place. Go to the other side, set it in place. So it should look like that. This little assembly here has more set screws than my helicopters put together. Yeah, for this, just this assembly here. So I'm gonna have put this one has actually 4 set screws in it. So I gotta put those set screws. Okay, so the next item I'm gonna attach is this one, another H item right there, and this piece. This one has the 4 set screws. So you see this bump? That's gonna line up with this. That's gonna go in first, like so. Okay, that locks this in place. So let's tighten this set screw on this end. Don't tighten this screw yet, because that will be another piece will go in here. So I guess let's get the other set screw on the opposite side and tighten this. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is attach this ring into this piece right here. I don't know what it's called. Seems like a brake of some sort, but anyway, that's gonna go like so. Now you'll need these brass fittings to go in this face. See this blue? That's where it's gonna go. So, and then the screw will go in this way. It should look like that. You tighten the screws into place, and eventually we will attach this one with this guy, but let's not do that yet. So we gotta assemble the frame next. So the next one is we're gonna attach this frame. So I'm gonna call it the Z frame. See these 4 holes here? That's gonna receive the H frame, like so. And similarly on the other side, it'll go that way. But first, let's work on the servo, because the servo will also act as the frame. That's the one that's labeled 2001. This is the big servo, the G50. Right here, we're gonna add the setting block to it right there. So you remember those brass washers or fittings? You need to put that over these holes and line them up with the setting block. And attach it like so. So all we need to do is do it a few more times right here. So the next thing we're going to do is attach the servo gear. Don't force it in there if it doesn't want to go in, because there's teeth on this one as well as the servo, and you don't want to mess up the teeth. Okay, and you get the screw and screw it in place. So that's done. Let's put it on the side. Now we're gonna attach these guys in here. So this would be the first one. You take your assembly here, one of the Z frames, line up the 4 holes with the H frame and screw it in place. So I'm putting the 4th bolt onto the Z frame and H frame like this. So remember now, this X faces this part, or follows the same direction as this part of the Z, and the 4 holes lines up with the H frame. So we'll screw this in place, and there you go. Now let's do the other side like that. Okay, so we're putting in the 4th screw on the other Z frame. So there you go. Remember this piece? This is gonna go to the back of this assembly. So first thing you need to do is, well, this piece, see the brass fitting? These 2 ends will be attached to the Z frame. But before you do that, you want to make sure that the flat, this blue piece here, the flat part lines up with the set screw on this piece. So It's a little hard to do it manually, so I use my pliers to just kind of, don't press too hard, but rotate this piece. So then you can slide it in place like so. So now it's lined up there. And excuse me, let's see. There you go. So this part should line up with the hole on the Zip frame as well.